Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is getting extremely close to breaking this pattern, while Bitcoin is flashing a rare signal on this on-chain chart that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment. Definitely stick around. First of all, taking a look at this on-chain Bitcoin chart. This chart right here shows the Bitcoin supply adjusted coin days destroyed. And I've went into more detail about exactly how this is calculated in previous videos here on the channel. But basically, if a lot of Bitcoin is moved all at once on change, then we could see a spike in this indicator. Or if a decent amount of Bitcoin that hasn't moved in many years all of a sudden moves all at once, then that can also cause a large spike in this indicator. And what's very interesting is usually when we see a large spike in this supply adjusted coin days destroyed indicator in this purple line right here, that usually happens just before a volatile move in the price of Bitcoin, and oftentimes happens at turning points in the price. But what's very interesting is over the last couple of years, basically every time where we've seen a spike in this indicator, even during the 2022 bear market, this usually happens after we've seen a bunch of bearish price action and just before we're about to see even more bullish price action. Because, for example, if you're taking a look at this massive spike that we saw back in November 2020, obviously that was just before we kickstarted that major bull run in late 2020 entering into early 2021. And so then obviously we saw a dump during May 2021, and around July 2021 we saw another spike in this indicator just after we bottomed out for that crash and obviously started the next major leg to the upsides. And so then obviously we entered into the 2022 bear market, but even during that bear market, of course, we had time periods where we did see some shorter term bullish price action. For example, in Q1 2022, that was mostly a bullish quarter despite it occurring within a larger bear market. And right at the beginning of that bullish movement right there in Q1 2022, obviously we saw a massive spike in this indicator, which is very interesting. And we saw something very similar towards around June 2022. Once again, that was still technically within the larger bear market, but we did see some bullish price action over the next couple of months after we saw a spike in this indicator. And by the way, I'm only looking at the spikes in this indicator that occur with a value above 3. And so if you're looking at the next spike in this indicator with a value above 3, that happened during November 2022, right at the bear market's bottom. And so obviously in the following months, we saw a lot more bullish price action after that signal. And then the next time this signal flashed was during the end of March, entering into early April this year. And if you're looking at the Bitcoin price during that time, which by the way, this white line, if you haven't figured it out, is the Bitcoin price. And during the time of that signal flashing, we were in a bit of a sideways consolidation, but not long after that signal flashed, we actually saw one more decent pump to the upsides before later on seeing a bit more of a correction. And so once again, right now, as of recording this video, we're seeing the same signal flash again with a value above 3, just like all of these other times. And so historically speaking, this means we're likely going to see potentially more bullish movement in the coming month or so. But it is important to understand that this is not a short-term signal. So this does not guarantee that we're going to see bullish price action over the next 24 hours, for example. And instead, it's mostly talking about the much larger moves in the market. And now, just before getting into some other important Bitcoin and Ethereum charts, first, quickly reminding you that the World Series of Trading is officially open for registration, and it's only open for registration over the next couple of weeks. And this year, there is a total prize pool of up to 8 million USDT, a brand new Lamborghini Huracan, and multiple Rolex watches up for grabs. And for the third year in a row, I am hosting an official cryptoworld team in this competition. And basically how it works is if you join my cryptoworld team and our team places well in the competition, then you could potentially win a share in this massive $8 million prize pool. And basically, the more people that join our team, the better our chances are at placing well in the competition. So if you want to join the cryptoworld team, I'll leave a link to this page right here where you can join the team in the description description down below and in the pinned comment. In fact, it will be the first link down below this video. But anyway, now getting into some other important Bitcoin charts, looking at the 4-day time frame. Obviously, we're still technically within this larger bullish trend, and considering nothing much has changed on this chart over the last 1 day, if you're new to the channel, check out my last video on the channel if you want to know more about this chart right here. But anyway, zooming into the daily Bitcoin chart, obviously right now the price of Bitcoin is still technically playing out a bit of a rejection from this important resistance, and on top of that we still have an active bearish divergence currently playing out. And so once again, as I've been saying almost every day over the last 2 weeks or so, this basically means we should not really be expecting a lot of bullish momentum, at least in the shorter term here, and instead we're likely going to see either some choppy sideways price action or a bit more of a slight pullback when you're talking about the shorter term. But once again, this is all currently occurring within a much larger bullish trend. And as for the daily Bitcoin MACD, technically speaking, this is still currently looking more bearish than bullish, but with that being said, it is not currently showing a lot of momentum, which basically means we don't actually have a strong direction here on the chart, and so we're likely going to see relatively mild price action, nothing too significant. And now if you zoom into a smaller time frame, taking a look at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, right now the price of Bitcoin is still playing out a bit of a bounce from this Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at around 28.9k. But if this bounce continues, we do have resistance at around $30,000, and if we actually broke back below 28.9k, then in that case we have the 50% retracement level acting as support at around 28,000 to 28.1k, and below that level we have the golden pocket sitting in between around 27,000 to 27.2k. And now if you zoom into the shorter term, taking a look at the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, this previous bear flag pattern is still currently active with a price target sitting at around 28,500. But once again, it is important to understand that between the current price at the time of recording this video and that technical price target, there is obviously that level of support at around 28.9k. And also, if this short-term bounce continues back above this level, sitting at around 29.7k, then in that case, if we saw a break back above that level, that would actually invalidate this previous bear flag pattern and invalidate this bearish price target. And as for some other levels of short-term resistance, we could find a bit of resistance around that 29.7k level, and above that, if we actually invalidate this pattern, we could still find some resistance right around here, sitting at about 30.3k to 30.4k. And now if you zoom into the 1-hour Bitcoin chart, right now as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is currently forming a possible symmetrical triangle pattern, because as of right now we've already confirmed multiple higher lows on the 1-hour chart while also confirming lower highs. And so obviously this is Bitcoin essentially entering into a converging range, a tightening range, which will eventually lead to a break of obviously either this support level or this resistance level. And in case you're wondering, this level of support is sitting at around 29.1k, and this level of resistance is sitting at around 29.4 to 29.5k. And basically, if we end up seeing a confirmed breakout above that level of resistance, then that would set up a technical price target at around 29.9k, so nearly $30,000. But on the flip side, if we see a confirmed break below that level of support, that would set up a technical price target at around 28.7k approximately. So either way, we're looking at a possible 2% move on the chart approximately. But once again, it is important to understand that right now, none of those technical price targets are currently in play, and we first need to see a confirmed break either below this support or above this resistance in order to confirm the next direction here in the shorter term. And so until then, we're still looking relatively neutral with very low momentum, once again, just in the shorter term here. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is still trading above this important area of support, sitting in between 1770 to 1820. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, these are still looking very neutral, showing very low momentum, at least in the short term. So once again, as I've been saying recently on the channel, we're likely going to see relatively mild price action, most likely some choppy sideways price action, because because we don't exactly have a strong direction here in the shorter term based on the price oscillators. And now if you zoom into the 8-hour ETH to US dollar chart, right now the price of ETH is still trading below this previous ascending line of support, which is now acting as new resistance, which is currently sitting at around 1910. So just keep in mind, even if we do continue a bit more of a short-term bounce, expect resistance close to 1910. And now staying on the 8-hour time frame, looking at the Fibonacci levels, we do have this Fibonacci level acting as a bit of short-term resistance, sitting at around 1870 to 1880. But if we saw a confirmed breakout back above 1880, then once again we also have that resistance at around 1910, and above that we also have resistance at around 1930. But if this short-term pullback continues, then the levels of support we should be watching are, first of all, this 50% retracement level sitting at around 1830. But if we saw a break below that level, then we have the important golden pocket area of support in between around 1760 to 1770. And now if you zoom into the much shorter term, taking a look at the 2-hour ETH to US dollar chart, right now the price of ETH is forming a symmetrical triangle pattern just like Bitcoin. But for the price of ETH, we do actually have a more significant line of resistance because we have many more touch points along this line of resistance. And in case you're wondering, this line of resistance is sitting at around 1870 to 1880, right where that Fibonacci level is sitting at. And this line of support is currently sitting at around 1860. So obviously the price of ETH is trading in a very tight range right now. And in fact, if we continue in this pattern, we only have around 1 to 2 days to go before the price of ETH will essentially be forced to either break resistance or break support. And if we see a confirmed breakout above that level of resistance that I just mentioned, then that would set up a technical price target at around 1930 to 1940. But on the flip side, if we confirm a break below that level of support, that would confirm a technical price target close to 1.8k. So either way, we're looking at around a 3% move in the price of ETH if we first either confirm a break below this support or above this resistance. And now if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price breaks out to the upside, to the downside, or simply chops around sideways for a little while longer, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money no matter if the price is bullish or bearish, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.